Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 75th episode of Concerned Dabs Podcast. I am your host, Katie M. Kane. Our guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is a titan in the garment industry, the garment and apparel industry. He has done millions of prints for companies that you spend dollars with every single year of your life, as far as kicks and shirts and all that shit, man. He's been in one of the most notorious tagging crews ever, and he owns his own business now. He's working for himself, High End Raps. He is the man. He is the graphics dude extraordinaire. He has so much depth to his story, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad he came on the show tonight to talk to us. His name is Aaron Goin, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron,
Well,
are you with us? Yeah,
yes,
dude.
I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on the show, bro. I try to keep it nori
Anytime,
with the
bro.
intro. I try to keep it nori with the intro. You know what I mean? Like,
You gotta
it's like,
hype it up a bit.
yeah, dude. Because you could give me a list. Stacia gave me a list of things to say, but usually I'm just like, man, fuck this list.
Nah, it's better
Yeah.
a little bit of improv in there, man.
Yes, dude. Yes, man. So thank you for taking the time tonight, sir. To give a little bit of context to the people, I have a cousin named Mike. He's my cousin on my mom's side. You know what I mean? I love that guy. Done a bunch of cannabis stuff with him, and when I got to Oregon, he really helped me out as far as introducing me to people who could help me out with my music and everything else. And I got introduced to Aaron, through my cousin. And I purchased a logo for my LLC, mine and my cousin Tutlow's LLC. It's called Main Node. And the logo fucking smacks, man. It's super clean. It's super dope, and I spent a pretty penny on it, but the work came quick, the changes were fast and it was real professional. And it's been dude, you honestly you're the first person who is that professional who I was like, damn, it's a lot of money. I'm like, damn, it's expensive, $350 for a logo. But my cousin told me, he's like, nah, this guy's the truth, man. It's worth it. And it was, you know what I mean? It wasn't a
Yeah, I'll
homie.
work through all the steps with you and everything. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you don't like that part? Tell me to mix it up. Let's do it.
Yeah. And it wasn't a
Anything's
homie.
possible.
It was a homie introduced me, but you didn't give me the homie hookup. But it was still fucking worth it, bro. And we became
Right.
homies afterwards and done all kinds of different things
Then
together
we
since
started
then.
doing other business.
Yeah, man. Well, it's like, I had the farm in 2016. You were
Yep.
definitely my number one crew guy as far as that season went, bro. Like, it was good having you on the farm and just assessing the situation for efficiency as far as how this process is gonna go, where it's gonna start, where it's gonna end. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it was a
I got a
joy.
lifetime of training.
Yeah, dude, it was a joy. And it just, to me, it was like, fuck, this guy gets it. Because I worked for fisheries for a long time. So similar process. We got a shit ton of work and we got to get done
You
by
had to run
4.
game on process for sure.
Yeah, dude,
Always.
for real.
You had to.
So definitely a cool, sharp dude. I remember one of the first times I met you, you took me on a tour to, the place was called Latitudes at the time, correct? Can you talk about them in any sort of context about the work that you did there? Because when I went there, that's when I became impressed, because you're just some guy, Aaron, that my fucking cousin Mike plugged me in with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I went to your fucking job, I was like, holy shit, this is major. You know what I mean? So can you talk
Yep.
about your time there and what kind of work you did and how much work you did and for which companies, dude? Because that's relevant.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I'm not gonna tag them in the fucking YouTube post or anything, but it's major to me, dude, because I shop with these brands. You know what I mean? And so does everyone else.
Right? Everybody does. So a little bit of a misconception happens when you talk about screen printing, because many people, they'll learn this in college or high school, and they'll do it on tables or they'll do it in their garage, and it's all done by hand. And we had a state-of-the-art facility that was wrapped around a concept called 5S, which I'll talk about later too. And we had to go through full training to do this. We created actual floor plans to make this a one-way rotation and nothing goes backwards to begin with. When you walk in the facility at first, you're not seeing anybody hand printing. These are all machines that are doing everything for you, and they're calibrated to a T. Perfect machine, state of the art, computer driven. Some of the clients that I worked with were really, really high end. We're talking like Nike, Air Jordan, Under Armour, K-Swiss, Adidas. The list goes on and on and on. And where I came into play, where I was special in the industry when I was at this facility, was I was running a lot of creative direction. So I was working with people that were really high up that didn't even have business cards with these companies because you don't want to contact those people. They contact you.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of people I was talking to. And eventually, as the years came rolling around, I started doing projects for like, LeBron James as himself, even his kid, Kyrie, Westbrook, everybody mailing straight to their houses with these rush orders and custom designs. So we're really
Yeah.
working hard with all that stuff. And our facility was capable of putting out about 1 million to 2 million prints a month. So we could really
Yeah.
push the envelope there.
Well,
And I was
dude,
also,
that's impressive, dude. 1 million a month for those companies. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like that's
it's basically a small company too. You're talking about 100 employees at the time.
yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Um, yeah, super, super impressive. And then also like I remember it was top secret when you were telling me about it, and I don't know how much you can share about it, but you just kind of
It's
mentioned
industry
it in the
standard
answer,
now.
but it's like, dude, you guys made some shit that was like fully automated that you know what I mean? I remember one of
Yeah.
the times I came to visit, there was a curtain. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we had
Like on the
the big
fucking
strap.
through half of your floor, and I could see the employees. Look, it's like you couldn't go beyond the curtain. It's like what the fuck is like the Wizard of Oz? Like you guys are
For
something that
real, dude. It's
you know
like
what I
what
mean?
it was too. Is like only like 10 people were allowed behind that curtain out of everybody
Yeah,
that was there. And that included Nike employees and the developers and the technicians that I worked with.
yeah, and so like can you talk about it? Like is it's
Yeah,
completely on
it's
like when you I don't want to
it's an
explain it
industry
for you.
standard.
You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
if you order something from Nike, it goes through that fucking facility and that machine right now, right?
Yeah, so they got some crazy stuff going on where we had a whole bunch of firsts with this machine. I was lucky enough to be included on a team where I worked with people from China, Italy, and the States. And what we did was we used the base of an automated screen printing press. So it printed for us, but then we added basically in layman's terms, what is a giant inkjet printer? It prints all the colors on top of just a white base.
Yeah,
So then we hit that and run it through a dryer, and we have a full spectrum shirt. So that gives us freedom of like, let's say, variable art in a design. So I can change the design as long as it fits the same shape underneath of it. Or
yeah,
I could run a one off at no real cost to me. And the way we did that with Nike and developed it was through NikeElite.com and Nike.com, where people would order custom designed garments and we can have them at their house in 48 hours. It's a live thing online. And we
dude.
did that with like all the basketball championships and the Super Bowls and all that stuff. It was
Well, dude,
direct customer.
and so that shit is up and running right now, right? So if you order from
Yeah.
one of those websites, my guy
Yep.
right here on Concerned Dabs podcast helped fucking build that shit, man. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And then that I don't know, super impressive to me, man. But I didn't want to interrupt too much, but you also talked about because this is another thing that was impressive to me is I would swing by the office to see what's up, and you'd have all this cool artwork shit like proofs of shit that didn't happen yet for championships and playoffs and
Oh yeah.
stuff like that. You know what I mean? So can you talk about that and the process, dude? Because dude, like it's inside shit. It's like yeah,
Yeah.
we print for both sides, but we print more for the side that we think we're gonna win. Like, can you talk about that whole shit, man? For give me
Oh
a
yeah.
good spiel on that, please.
So like a lot of times, Nike's promo value is more worth than what they're actually giving out. So they're going to put a lot of money into creating potential trash, is what we would call it. And it didn't matter which outcome we had, we printed both. And we would set everything up before everything's decided both ways. So if the shop's ready to go, but we could see that there was like a number difference. And there was a lot of times when that number difference did mean something about the outcome.
Yeah, yeah. Hint, hint, ladies and gentlemen. We ain't gonna say too much more than that, but yeah, uh, that competition is a little less competitive than you think it is.
Yep.
But yeah, yeah. But so what are some of the leagues and stuff that you've printed for shirts and stuff like that, man? Because I
Oh
bet
man,
you.
that's endless. I mean, I actually work directly with the managers with NFL and the NBA, the Pro Bowl. I work directly with them to develop their logos that you would see on TV all the time. Even the World Series, the shirts that the players would wear right before the game, you see them throwing the ball around, things like that, or the shooting shirts in the NBA Finals where they're wearing them on the court. Those came right off the presses where I worked, and I
No
helped develop
doubt.
all the looks and how they actually printed because I was working directly with the developers from Nike and the people who were actually printing these garments.
Yes. Yeah, dude. And then the Wall of Fame or whatever. Like that was the other thing. It's like
Oh yeah,
your office was like situated up in the top corner, like super big
yeah, we
boss
called it the
shit,
Moon
right?
Tower.
Yeah,
Called it
dude,
the
it was
Moon
dope.
Tower.
But like at the end of the stairs, there was like a hallway and it had photos, and all of
Yep.
these photos, ladies and gentlemen, were of super famous celebrity people on TV wearing something that Aaron and his homies made at work. So like, can you
And
talk
we
about?
special did it so that we actually custom made frames out of wood screen frames and what's called Newman roller frames, which are things that we stretch our screens on and actually print with. And we made custom frames for these things. So we'd actually hang the actual shirt as a sample that we printed and put the picture in the frame. So you can walk down the hallway and see all the work that was done with that and then see who it was actually made for and where it was seen as a public thing.
Yeah, dude. Who are some of the people on that wall, bro? I remember seeing it was like some Letterman, Leno type shit. Like it was.
Oh, all of them, all of them. There's a bunch of Kobe stuff we have too. I mean, you got all the celebrities. Like Jack Nicholson was on there, and just a lot of different people, and it just kept cycling through. So about every year to two, we would change out that Hall of Fame and then archive all the stuff that we had.
Damn. Yeah, tight. And then, man, didn't you work with TDE on a project also?
Oh
Can
yeah,
you talk
I
about
did the
that? Can you
whole.
tell me about that? Tell me about
Yeah,
that, man.
yeah, I worked directly with the managers and got to talk to Kendrick and a bunch of his people. Um, they almost flew me out to Los Angeles, but they actually came up here, and I got to work with them on the designs and how they'll actually print, like the techniques. And we used a lot of reflectives and high densities and stuff like that. Very special inks, multiple placements all over. But that was for his West Coast tour that happened a few years back. And we made a ton of different colorways, like just for the customer shirts, but we also made a specific one just for them, which I have all the samples of still anyway.
Yeah, dude. I remember visiting that. Like, I think I was in Phoenix, man. I came back for a weekend. We chilled out for a day, and you showed
Right?
me some
I
of
had
those
all the
shirts. I was like,
TVE stuff, and
this
it's
is
like, whoa.
fresh, bro. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, you work with these dudes, and you're like, yeah, man. So
Yeah.
it just super impressive, dude. Like the resume is deep, man, and long. Um,
Well, they trust me with the
I guess.
techniques and the art, man. Something I love to do, and there's a difference between anybody who just does something and loves what they do.
Yeah. Well, because that's one thing too is the ink, man. Like I've
Yeah.
had, I worked for Fromda when I was on work release for my county jail time. You know what I mean? Like I
Mhm.
had a little bit of experience before I met you, and then my cousin Mike, he had a printing press, and the ink, man, making it look the way you want it to look when it's done is the hard part. Is mixing that shit up and making it pop.
You got to
And
make it perfect.
yeah, well, and that's one thing when I met you was like you understood that shit, dude. You know what I mean? And that's like the devil's in the details. If you understand that shit, that's where
Yeah.
you get paid and you become expertise. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
and I was doing
that's
probably
another.
80% of their like sign-offs where we have to signature everything to okay production. So they need people like me to like look at their stuff and make sure everything's good. Because I see it all the way down from like an art development point, and it brings it out in the reality, and I know how it should already look. So they've always wanted my eyes or somebody trained similar to me to actually go down there and approve things as they're happening in production. I just didn't sit at a computer and design things or anything like that. I was very involved in the production process myself.
No doubt, man. Hands on. And that's the other thing too, ladies and gentlemen. If you were lucky enough to get one of my main note t-shirts, you know what I mean, from that first round, I did like 20 or 30 of them. They're
That
on
was
Nike
dope.
Just Do It blanks. My t-shirts are on Nike blanks, man, because of this dude, because he had the blanks sitting around at work. And so I'm just ordering t-shirts from the homie I got the homie hookup on those, you know what I mean? And then when I got them, I'm like, holy shit, it has the Nike tag, says just do it and all that shit. I'm like, fuck, man. It just it
They
made me
came out
feel
dope with that
special.
reflective.
Yeah, dude, and it had the blue had a little bit of flake in there, you know what I mean? I was just
Yep.
like, dude, it made me feel special and it made me feel plugged in, Aaron. I felt like I got some really high quality shit, you know,
Oh, you
from a
did
guy
too, man. I threw your stuff on the sample press, and then that guy, his name, I won't really mention it here, but he's the best printer I've ever known in my entire career, and I've been doing this over 25 years. So I mean, that says something. Is and I put your stuff on his press for a reason, so just make it perfect.
No doubt. Good looking out, bro. Okay, so we got a question from Mitchell in production. He's saying, can you show any exclusives, like even just pull them out of the closet or anything that aren't under NDA that you can, just show in front of the screen real quick? Something
Let
that
me go
came in
check.
wet. Yeah,
Let me
because
go
dude,
check.
that's one thing too. When I came to visit this guy, ladies and gentlemen,
I mean, this
so,
is one of them
sometimes,
actually. Right
well,
there.
dude, so
This,
he'd be like,
this
yeah, he. So who is
that's
that?
a
What is that
Hurley
one?
design. It's a Hurley design, and I have so many colorways of this one. But I did this development just for one of their athletes that does a lot of paddle boarding out in Hawaii. So he has all
Okay,
these different designs, and there's an area code right here with a different filling. But we did like 6 different kinds of ink on each one. So you got like your
dope.
glitters here, you got discharge, you got water based, you got all kinds of stuff. There's puff in there. This is the kind of stuff we did.
Yeah.
It's so crazy with it.
No doubt. And then, man, grab something else too, Aaron. I'm gonna
Yeah,
talk while
yeah.
you go look in your closet. But the other thing too, ladies and gentlemen, I'll come and visit. You know what I mean? Uh, I'd be like, hey man, I forgot my sweatshirt at the hotel, man. Can I borrow one for you? So when we go outside and smoke, and he opens up his closet and it's full of all kinds of cool shit. And I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
check this out.
yeah, you know, get it, and so like, yeah. So what's that one? Oh,
This
okay,
is a sideline.
Seahawks.
This is a sideline jacket that was made just for the players. There was only two
Dope,
extra made, and I have one of them. So this is like the
dope.
key where he goes over the uniforms.
Yeah,
Extra
there's like
size.
does it save you from the rain and shit like that? Tight,
Yeah.
tight.
It says a medium, but it fits like a 2X.
Dope, dope, man, dope. And then some of the breweries too. Like I remember wearing a Ballast Point shirt. It was a sweatshirt that I got from Aaron, and everywhere I went, people were like, "Where the fuck did you get that?" I'm
Oh,
like,
here you go, bro.
"My my
There's some
home, my
TDE
homie did
shit
the
right here.
graphics, man."
There's some TDE shit right there.
Damn. Oh, that's tight, dude. That was for the single. Oh, bro, then hold that up, please. Can you hold it up for 5 seconds? Damn. TDE. Dude, yeah, show the front of it, bro. Show the front of it.
Like
Damn.
that. It's all reflective. Says
Hell
damn.
yeah, bro. See, that shit's sick, bro. Super
You can see.
cool.
I don't know if you can
Show
see
me
it
some
on
ass
camera.
with some stretch marks.
It's a
Yeah, dude, that
HDE, so
song's
it's
tight.
tall.
Fucking cool, Aaron. Fucking cool, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not familiar, Damn was a single by Kendrick Lamar. I think it was the last album he put out. Super dope, hot song. The video too, man. Some of the angles and the gimbal shots on that shit were pretty sick, you know.
I've
All right,
used
what's
this
that
one
one, Aaron?
used this one few times before myself, but these were the official jackets for the Gatorade games, so they weren't even for sale. That's why they have a number 11 swoosh over here. It's for TV. It's extra large. And a huge
Dope.
swoosh, a little logo. Only the
So
referees
they
wore
make
them.
so they made that logo bigger in order to make it visible to the people on the TV screen, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, man. I was watching a video about it was Fender guitars, the end of the head on the neck. They started making them bigger, and people were like, "Why, man? It makes it sound different." And they made it bigger so that they could fit a bigger logo on there for promotion, so that anybody playing it on stage who had a photo taken of them, hopefully the logo would be visible in the photo. Top dog, damn, that's tight too, bro.
The TDE.
Word,
It's got the
dope.
same kind of sleeves. It's got the little patch there on the side.
Fucking A, man. Cool shit, Aaron. Cool
This is
shit.
the one.
All right, man.
These are the ones that went
Can,
to the band. This is
hell
it.
yeah.
We sell these.
Hell yeah. Man, can you come back for the interview now, Aaron? Like, we believe you, bro. We believe you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Thank you, Mitchell, for asking that question, because it does. It's like he could be bullshitting out of his ass. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, check it out right here, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. He's got the proof too, ladies and gentlemen. Um, so can I ask a little bit about your history, dude? When like what pushed you towards graphics? Because I know you got some tagging crew history and
That's where it was
I read
at,
there
man. I
was
grew up doing graffiti.
well, dude, and there, I remember there was a guy. He was on the cover of Dope magazine, right? And I remember being at the weed store with you, and I was like, "Do you know this guy?" And you're like, "That's my fucking homie from high school." And I can't remember his name, but he's super popular tagger, and he was on what was his
Revoke.
name? Like Zephyr, Revoke.
Revoke. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah. And it just, I didn't
Oh,
understand, you know,
I
because
think who you're talking about was Saber.
Saber, yeah,
Saber.
that was him.
Yeah.
Saber, yeah, he was on the cover of Dope magazine, and you
Yeah,
know,
he
he
did
had
the
his
giant
little
LA tag.
yeah, he had like his Krylon can, and like
Yeah.
it was yeah. So for context, ladies and gentlemen, I had a farm in 2016. One of my big homies, JSK, came out to help me. I took him to Aaron's work to go and check out the shit that he does. And my homie JSK explained to me the significance of the tagging crew shit because JSK knew who that Saber guy was too, and I was just I'm pretty sure that's Aaron's homie. You know what I mean? Like it just I didn't get how dope and deep that shit was, bro. So can you give us some context on that about that crew and some of the things that you had a hand in as far as branding and development and shit?
Yeah, I started out tagging with a crew called AM7. And it was just a few of my friends and stuff, and they were really good at it. So we started associating with like MSK and CBS, and that's how I got to know Saber and Revoke and Yem and everybody else. And our history was going to train yards or hitting box trucks and stuff like that, just but we got real good at what we did. And all it really breaks down to and as to what it brought me to my current status was the way you build artwork on a computer is built the exact same as the way graffiti's built. So it just transforms into a digital process. So it makes it real easy. But some of the stuff that we did as a graffiti crew was pretty legendary back when that was coming up. Because we started doing a bunch of collaborations with a lot of people, which people didn't do back then. And then we
Yeah,
started doing our own branding. So and now it exists as an actual brand, but we always called it, and we never even thought about this, but called it Brandalism. But there is an actual company that actually calls it that now. But
oh, okay.
what we started to do was the seventh letter. So we started developing the
Yes,
seventh letter and
seventh
started
letter,
writing
ladies and
out
gentlemen. Yeah, which
the
is
G.
G. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we used to
So,
do all
like,
kinds of stuff
talk
like
about
that.
that. Like, how did you guys come up with that idea, man? And how did you work that into your
I
art and
think
shit?
I think if I remember correctly, it was either Revoke or one of Revoke's friends that actually came up with that, and we just started talking about it, and they're like, that's fresh as fuck, bro. We need to fly with that, man, to see what we can do." And we were all graffiti artists, and had great hand skills and stuff too. So it was it's pretty easy to just write some stuff up. A lot of us have formal calligraphy training and stuff too, so we could write really well. And that's basically what we based our clothing brand off of, was the seventh letter just being G, but writing out the seventh letter creatively in any kind of way that we could think of. And then we would make stickers and T-shirts and push them, and like push them for really cheap or even free a lot of times, just to have the names out there. And that's how we
Yeah.
gained so much ground doing this stuff. Is
Well,
because
dude,
we were
cause I
promoting more than everybody else. We weren't afraid
yeah,
of it. Everybody else was hiding in the 13th hour, and well, we're just like waving at everybody.
yeah. Well, like that's the thing. When JSK told me that, like he said something, he's like, "Man, you heard?" I was like, "Bro, I remember seeing write ups in the source in XXL because they would always have the fashion section and stuff, right? And
Yeah,
it was just exclusive shit from fucking the Bay in LA that you can't really get. That's hot as fuck, and they'd have photos of your guys' t-shirts and shit like that too.
yeah.
Once he
Yeah.
said that, like it was like, holy fuck. And that's another thing I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, is the logo that I purchased from my friend Aaron Goin. Its main node is the name of the LLC, but there's a hidden G in the fucking artwork, dude. Like you can see it. JSK pointed that shit out, and I'm just like, dude, the symbolism is so dope, bro. I just dig how.
I always put thought into that kind of stuff, you know.
Well,
It's just that's what
yeah,
graffiti art is, bro. It's symbolism all the way, and you got to represent
yeah,
like that. That's why people misspell their names on purpose, or like when I'm writing, I use dollar signs instead of S's. You know, just I'm paper chasing, bro.
yeah, yeah. No doubt, dude. I agree. It's an impressive artwork, bro. You know what I mean? And that's what I dig too. Is when there's a deeper message in just what looks cool. It's like, nah, flip it
Right.
around this way, and you can see this, and it's I don't know, dude. Like layers upon layers is the shit I like. It's like I can get
But
lost in shit like that, you know?
I was helping this kid recently do this logo for he calls it thing Cream and Co, which is cash rules everything around me. So I helped make his logo read the same way, left to right and flipped over and back left to right. So it reads the same way no matter
Tight.
what.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah, dude.
little pointers here and there. He couldn't kind of quite figure it out, and he almost had it. So I was like, "Oh yeah, I know all that stuff." You know, mirroring and graffiti is just that's how you make it look dope.
Yeah. Okay. So man, dude, cause for real, that's I always had homies in school who would, tag up their notebook or make a cool piece on paper, but you like not do a whole fucking thing. It's like I have friends online now who do murals, native artists and shit, and they get
Yeah,
commissioned. I'm like, dude, super dope, get yours. But it's different with you, bro, because you guys were doing all that shit without getting paid for it because you fucking love to do it and taking
that's all we
risks upon risks upon your freedom and everything. It's not
did.
legal to fucking paint a fucking train or anything, dude. You know what I mean? So
I
it
remember we
just
had the little ratchet tools. They're like this long, and we go up to the bus stop posters and steal all the Bebe posters, and then go sell them at school to pay for all our art supplies and stuff.
dope, dope.
This is
Well,
back in the day,
yeah,
bro. This is part of it. We would do like live paint shows where we'd bring by like 12 different 4x8s and stack them in the alley out back of the school, and then pass out flyers to everybody in the school and do a live paint demonstration right in front of them.
damn. See, shit like that too, Aaron. I know you're more professionally paper chase oriented now, but dude, doing shit like that for the love is something I would request of you in the future too, man.
Oh yeah.
Because I think I did one show in Portland, bro, and dude, it was like a month before my band broke up. There was a native conference at Nike, and so it was a whole bunch of Indians in the building, and we
Was it
rocked
for
for.
N7?
It was, and so yeah, and it was at Bodies is where the show was at, and
Okay.
there was like three bands. We each rocked for like 30 minutes, and when the first band went on, this guy had a huge canvas up on the stage, and he painted the whole time while the bands performed.
Yeah.
And then when we were done performing, they auctioned the painting off, and it was cool, dude, because I felt super dope. His name was Bunky Echo Hawk. I think he's from New Mexico. I can't remember what kind of Indian he is, but he was the guy painting. And bro, when we did our set, he started tearing shit up. You know what I mean? It's like he was doing like some background stuff before, but it's like once we started rocking ours, bro, like you could just see imagery from the shit that I was rapping about that he was putting into the painting, and I was just like,
That's
dude,
dope.
it just yeah, man, just combining the vibes, dude, in the same
Yeah, I was
setting, and
just gonna
then
say
letting
that's when
people
you're vibing out with the homies, dude.
yeah, but also doing it in a setting where other people can watch and listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like shit like that is dope to me, bro. Like I
Yeah,
gotta do something like
we
that
got
in
in
the
a lot of
future, Aaron.
we actually got in a lot of trouble in college for doing that stuff because it was still illegal, even though we were using our own stuff because it was on their property. But I mean, they gave us shit for it, but in the end, never nothing ever happened from it. But you know,
Okay.
people didn't
Okay, so
people didn't really see graffiti the same back then.
yeah. So let me ask about that too then, bro, because I went to college. I have a degree in PR, and I'm still fucking selling weed and DJing, basically. You know what I mean? I should have just focused on that instead of going to fucking college. You know what I mean? But it's you, but you are a kid who went to college for what he was into, finished, got into what he was into as far as after college, and succeeded, dude. So can you talk about going to college, like what you majored in, and then what was the process like afterwards, dude? Because I know I'm trying to gas you on your apparel shit, but you had like a cool job before you moved to Portland too, as far as creatively
Oh
too,
yeah,
right? Yeah. So
yeah.
can you
So
talk about that, dude? Like I want you to stunt, but I want the story too, bro. You know what I mean?
yeah, like I mean, it was just kind of a split second decision. I thought I was just gonna go for graphic design because that's what I
Yeah.
liked. I had already been building computers and using the software and everything, so I had figured it out already. I just needed some training. When I got to the school, I seen their curriculum was really easy for me, so it was pretty much a free degree. So I went for all three programs that they had, where they had fashion design, interior design, and graphic design. And I took them all at once, and I had a job at the time too at a print shop. So I was working at a print shop, already gaining knowledge, industry experience, and everything like that. Um, Throughout the college, it was pretty fun. A lot of classes I ended up being pretty
And what
advanced
college?
in.
What college did you go to? Where did you go to school at? In
It
California?
was it was in Lo it was in yeah, it was in Long Beach, California. It was called Brooks College. It was a vocational college. They're not around anymore.
LBC.
Yeah. Yeah, it was right in the heart of LBC, man. I lived off 6th and Pine out there. It was fun. And you just got to watch the
Dope.
Grand Prix every year. It was
Dope.
pretty nice. Yeah,
So
but the
so
college was not a bad experience. And I
and
ended up
you
helping a
finished.
lot of the teachers and everything.
Yeah, so you built bridges, bro, because you got game. And then what was? Didn't you have some sort of creative? Like it was like a film company. Like, can you talk about that, dude? Like, was that your first job outside of college? Like, what happened after you graduated? And when? What
Like,
year did you graduate? Too.
so I graduated high school in '99, and I was out of that school by 2002. It was
Damn.
a really quick, yeah, it's a quick program. Most people take one course, but I just felt like I wasn't challenged enough, so I went for all three.
Yep.
Just got all of them all at once. Finished up,
Game.
and
Smart
since I
kids
already had
fucking rule.
a job, yeah.
Yeah.
Once I got out though, I had already been in the industry a little bit, so I had leaders everywhere that were helping me out, helping me grow as an artist. So they were giving me opportunities and then pushing me to lead people. So how it's always happened with me is, you know, if you got a homie that's eating right and he ain't setting you up to eat, he's not really your friend. And I had a lot of those people that were pushing me forward too while they were eating. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes a lot, man. It's networking all the way. You always got to have the proper network to move forward.
I agree. And I've always tried to have that same principle. If a homie's down to pitch in, and even if it's not dollar amounts, it's like, bro, if you're down to show up and put in work, like it's free game. Like whatever
Right.
I can give you after this, I got you. You know what I mean? And it's just how it's worked with you, bro. Like cause I knew you had game with the t-shirt stuff, but on the weed farm, bro, it was just like, fuck. Yes, this guy, process and efficiency is everything, dude. And
Yep.
it's
How you
just always a
produce
joy to yeah, it's a joy to work with someone who understands that. And like it just was always like, fuck, this guy's dope. And that was the other thing too, is you didn't ever bitch about paper because you were just like, nah, man, I dig learning these things too. So it would just like, because you deserve more than I could afford, but it's like you still showed up, and that means a lot. I try to do that for
Oh,
my homies too. You know what I
you
mean?
gave me hella jars, bro. That was normal payment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No doubt, man. No doubt. So what was the creative? Was it for a film company or something like in California before you moved to Oregon? I remember you telling me a story about that where it was like maybe it was like a CGI company or something like that.
Oh, it was for video games, like the first Red Dead Redemption. I was working with a lot of the artists on that and like doing
Dope.
character development. Yeah. Doing some of the digital work for them and showing them in different techniques of how to make it look older, I guess. It's just a different style of art, like helping them improve their shit so it didn't look like Mario.
Okay. So like more yeah, like more authentic and less video
Yeah,
gaming, I guess. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's dope. And so then you left that job and moved to Portland and got down with Latitudes after that. Like I'm
No, I
just
had a different job.
I'm trying to get a loose timeline here, Aaron. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get the story, and I'll ask about your current company here in about 4 minutes, bro.
I I moved on from that really quickly because it was just, too polluted with a bunch of different people and trying to collab
well,
too much. Too many
well,
cooks in the
man,
kitchen.
well, cause yeah, talk about that too. Cause to me, on the outside, I'm like, holy fuck, I've heard of that game. I know that game sold a shit ton of copies. Why would a
Yeah,
guy fucking leave a situation like that? So, like talk about that a little bit too, man.
too many cooks in the kitchen, man. That's why I never ever really wanted to work for Nike itself, but I wanted to work with them because I'm not down with their kind of politics involved, and that's what happens when you have too many people involved. So
Yeah,
that's why I left that. And then I ended up at Sundance MediaCom. I was doing webmaster work for like the Scholastic book sites and stuff. And honestly, that was a bullshit ass job too. So I moved on to bigger and
yeah.
better things.
Well, dude, yeah, it's like, man, what? Sometimes it looks good on paper or a resume, but it's like, fuck, I'm not
Yeah,
getting my fucking happiness. My brain's not juicing off this work. You know what I mean?
I got tired of it. They were paying me a lot of money at Sundance, and I had all kinds of stuff. Sold it before I moved here. I just decided I had enough of that crap and just wanted to live a little bit. So I took all the money that I had and I moved up here and I lived off of it for like 18 months, very comfortably. And
No doubt. Well, dude, that's
then
that.
I
My
went and got
cousin
my
Mike
job
tells
at
me
Latitude.
yeah, that's when you met my cousin Mike, and it's like
Yep.
I you know,
Yep. That's when I
I
was
was
just
still
cruising
out.
around and having fun.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So you ended up at Latitudes eventually, right? When you got to Portland,
Yeah, I was
fucking
just
shit up there
kind
in
of doing,
contracting.
yeah, just doing various little jobs with sign shops here and there, stuff like that. A little bit of design work, and then I just had the inside lick on this job where somebody's boyfriend was already working with me, and then she told him something and he told me something, and then I walked in and showed them my stuff and they were just like, when can you start? It kind of
Dope.
like fell in my lap, even though that was pretty much a goal of mine, was to work with a company like that.
Yeah, dude. Like seriously, and I dig that the angle on it and the principle behind it of fuck, I don't like being told what to do. It's like I'll tell you where it needs to be tightened up and why it
That's
sucks right
why
now, and you can't get it to
that's
where
why I
you
always
want it
wanted to
because
do that job and not work for Nike itself, because working for Nike, I'm going to be under the thumb. But I'm working to
yeah,
develop with Nike, and it's my facility that I'm running, and you're a guest in my facility. So at that point, who controls who?
yeah, no doubt, man. I dig that, and it's
It's
yeah,
empowering.
man.
It's
It's
fun.
yeah, man, and inspiring too
Definitely made
because
my
that's
mark.
a lot of times people will ask me like, are you gonna go work for so and so or for this? It's like not if they don't give me a contract. Like I don't want to go through anybody's
Yeah,
HR department. It's like you either see that I got
exactly.
game or you don't. And I'd rather work for myself by myself unless you guys are gonna let me do my thing. You know what I mean? You're not gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna tell you
It's like
what's up
nut
and
up
you're
or
gonna
shut
watch.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, dude. And that's when I get those kind of messages, that's just kind of what I reply with. It's like, bro, give me the
yeah.
fucking meeting and show up with some paperwork. Otherwise, I don't
Right.
care. I'm doing
Show me
my
what
own
game you
thing.
got. What card you holding?
Yeah, yeah, man. Seriously, dude. Um, so I know that recently you left Latitudes, um, and you started your own thing, man. Like
Yeah,
you have your own company now, and that's I admire you for that too, bro. Like I had my homie Josh Mossberg Galbraith. We had him on episode 1, and then we had him return 6 or 7 months later. He left fucking Kaya Shack, bro. I'm sure he was on salary making a fucking dope ass living, and he left that job to go and do a hemp farm, and now he's growing hemp and he's making CBD extracts and all. And it just I fucking gotta
he's
applaud
having
the
fun.
guys who do shit like that. Yeah, dude. It's like I'm gonna leave this safety net and what I, because I want to enjoy doing something different.
Yeah, that's
And so
exactly what
that,
I did, man. It's like that Sundance. I mean, most people wouldn't have left that job. Even back then, it
yeah,
was six figures. So it's like,
yeah,
even that was difficult, but still, happiness is worth more than money. And if you can
I
still make a
agree.
decent amount of money being happy, then why not?
Yeah, man. And I don't know, dude. I enjoy hanging out with people with those principles because it's like the rich people who are just about dollars. It's I don't find
They,
interesting conversation or they're
well,
not
they have
into
no
dope
compassion.
art. Yeah, bro.
It's
And it's
all
like
about how can
homies
I
thinking,
skim this money, that's all it's about
yeah,
every time. How can I get that money, bro? You know, at at no point does a moral come into play when they're like that.
yeah,
And that's what I didn't like about rubbing shoulders with a lot of people like that, just because they were heartless dicks. Let's just be honest here.
y-
Heartless dicks.
yeah,
They didn't care who they crushed to get that money.
yeah, man. I agree. And I always, yeah, dude. I try to exude that and say that publicly with anybody I'm hanging out with. It's like, nah, man, I'm here because I enjoy hanging out with you fuckers and talking about the shit we talk about. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Yep,
There's no angles other than enjoyment of our time on Earth. You know what I mean? And it's
exactly.
dope that you try to extend that to your work, bro. Because it is like, what are you
Uh,
spending your time on while you're here on
life is
Earth? You know?
life is limited, man. You might as well have fun with it. Like, do what you want
Yeah,
to. Stop being held down by other people.
yeah, no doubt. And so when you started your own company, the company we put on the flyer, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is called High End Wraps. You guys do vehicle wraps. Can you
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit? How did you get into that? And you have a homie who you're partnered with, correct too?
Yeah. During my training for all that, like in California a little bit, and even when I first moved up here working with the sign shops, that's what we first got into. I was working with a really high end place, so we got into digitally printed wraps, flat wraps, and just basic colors, stuff like that. But we would wrap entire vehicles. Technology has changed big time now, so it's a lot easier for us. We require a lot less tools. The material is more expensive, but it's quicker to work with, so you kind of get a good balance there. And we work with both Oracle wraps, which I tell people if you're on a budget, that's what you're going to want to go through, but you're going to have some seams here and there because it does lift a little bit. And you want those badass wraps that you see all the time that look like paint jobs. That's 3M. It's a 3M brand
Yeah,
product. Quite a bit
like
more
the
expensive.
the color change with the glass beads in there and shit, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. You're talking like an Orifol wrap will cost you maybe like, you know, $800 in material. That's like be like what I would spend on the material to cover a car in Orifol. You go with the 3M and you're going to spend like $1,700 on the same material, but it's going to be a lot better. You don't have to cut it up everywhere, patch shit, and it's different. It's different. It's a
So
game changer because all the products you're
no
using, the
doubt.
primer and everything is all 3M. You got to use that stuff together.
Okay, so can I ask you some other math questions related to cost? What is that? Okay, so if you got the 3M wrap 1700 material, how much does it cost with labor? Like 35 or three for
That's
someone?
pretty typical. Is about 3 to 4 on a
Okay,
vehicle with a lot of curves. But if you're going to bring me
okay.
like a Jeep where we can easily take it apart, like like a Rubicon or
Something
something like that.
square,
That's
something
easy
square.
as hell,
Yeah.
bro. I can wrap that in less than a day.
Okay. And what so comparable to a paint job, how much cheaper is the wrap than a paint job? And I'm asking you to be a salesman, bro, because
It,
because in
it
my
really
head
does.
I'm like,
So,
yo, it's not gonna get fucked up. Your original is gonna be okay underneath that shit until you take it off. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, it actually does do a heavy protection layer on your paint. It's pretty thick stuff, and it's made to stretch. So we heat it with heat guns and stretch the hell out of it. But we use primer underneath to make it hold down and stuff like that. It's just the difference in quality and adhesion from the two brands, and and what people's budgets are, and how perfect it's gonna look, and something like that. But yeah, your typical cost is gonna be about 3 to 4 thousand. And
What would
with
a paint job cost though? What would a
a,
paint job cost?
a paint
Yeah,
job with that same
yeah for
color,
the color paint, the color change paint with the glass beads and all that shit. That
I
has to
mean,
cost way more than the fucking wrap, right?
you're talking probably in the neighborhood of $12,000 for a paint job like that that's done right. And then you're on higher end
Damn.
cars too, like Audis. and stuff like that. Like the stuff's hard to take apart, so it takes you a lot longer, and you need special tools and everything, and you got to do it right. You have to take everything apart, just like for a paint job: door handles, lights, bumpers, everything.
Yeah.
But you get
And
a product that could look like paint if you just have the right material and the right skill to work with it.
yeah. Well, cause dude, that's in Phoenix, bro. I saw a lot of really fancy high end cars when I'd be delivering packages through fucking Scottsdale and Fountain Hills and all this
Oh
shit.
yeah,
And when I'd see those, I'm like, they don't sell that car in that color. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I'm pretty sure those guys got it wrapped instead of painted because it
oh yeah.
retains the value of their car. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's gonna. Oh shit, we lost him, ladies and gentlemen.
What happened there?
All right. Okay, so did you? Can you turn your camera back on?
Yeah, hang on. Come on.
That was weird. It went.
I know, it's everything went down, and I was like, "What the hell?" It's
They're
not coming
hacking
back
us.
on.
They're hacking us, Aaron.
uh,
There he is. I could see now.
all right, cool.
All right. So, so basically a third of the cost of,
Yeah.
or a fourth of the cost for a
Um.
paint job. You know what I mean? Because, and
Yeah.
that's, I'm trying to sell your shit
It
too,
is.
bro. Because it's like,
It,
yo, you
it's
want that candy paint, but it's like you could get a rat with the fucking same shit for a third of the cost.
yeah, and I can put it on rims that have flat surfaces without doing any masking and stuff like that. And it makes it look really pricey, but I mean, it's not that hard to do when you know what you're doing. And you get the
Yeah.
right products, it looks really good.
Well, and then that's one thing. I'm not a super big car guy, but like aftermarket shit is cool, but not when it affects the rest of the car. Like, shout out to my pop. I love my fucking pop, man. He's my old man. When I bought my sister's old car, right, and he put ski racks on it. That's fine. He put fog lights in it. That's fine. But he added fucking power locks. Like it's a base model fucking Kia, so it didn't have power locks. And something something with that shit. There's a wire that's grounding out, and the fucking it like whistles when you turn on the audio for the stereo, and I can't figure out.
Yep.
And bro, I'm a music guy, dude. So every time I fucking
Bothers the
it
hell out of you.
fucks with me, dude. Like hell yeah. So I'm trying to figure that part out, and it's like if my pop is listening, like man, don't fuck with the electrical in the future. Just wrap that fucker with a cool fucking color. You know what I mean? Like,
Right?
and it just yeah, because I have a homie that I want to sell that car to in a couple of months, and it's just like for me, I just feel like an asshole. Like when you turn on the stereo, it sounds like this, man. You know, like, but you can unlock the doors with a button. It's not a good enough trade for me. I'd rather fucking
Right?
stick the key in and turn it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
whatever. Yeah, whatever. That's me. I'm old school. But like besides the raps, like so people, you have a website where people can hit up and purchase that from you, or do they need to holler at you online? Like how can they get some work done from high end raps?
All they really need to do is look up an umbrella screen printing in Oregon, in Portland,
Okay.
and it's connected through him. His name's Jeffrey Taw. He's the homie, and he helped me start all this. So all you gotta do is look through his stuff. Like we do stickers, T-shirts, whatever, promo materials, anything you want, basically. So that's how we got into the wraps. It's a pretty simple choice. We already deal with all the vinyl and stuff anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Okay, so can I switch the conversation towards 3D printing for the last 10-15 minutes? Is that okay?
Yeah.
So recently I talked on the horn with my friend Aaron Goin a couple weeks ago, and he told me he had a new piece of equipment, a 3D printer, a pretty big one, and I explained to him like, "Fuck, I've been looking for these different parts that I want printed, and they cost this much." And he breaks down what the fucking cost is for materials, and he'll cut me a break on like. And I'm just like, yes, because it's very rare that something you're into on your own is also something that one of your homies is into on his own. And it's like
Right?
when you talk about it, it's like, oh man, what cool man, can I and I'm just super excited. My kid, he's into those fucking Beyblades, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
want to get some STL files to print up some shit for him too. But I want the fucking Captain Rex helmet and all
Yeah.
the shit. We'll talk more about that. But it just, can you talk about how you got into that game too, bro? Because I read so much about it, and the technology seems so affordable now. And can you talk about some of the things that you're doing with that as far as commercially? I know it's for fun, but like, what are some jobs that and stuff that you've done with that so far?
Well, I first got into it just because the my buddy that I live with, his family ended up buying what's called an Ender 3, and it's a $180 3D printer. And I'd been eyeing them for years, but they've always been like, you know, seven, eight, $900 for a tiny one, or just like ridiculously expensive for a nice one. And I was just
Yeah,
not ready to put that kind of investment into something that it was like uncharted territories. There's a learning
yeah,
curve. I gotta be able to know what I'm doing before I'm comfortable spending that kind of money. So
yes,
we let it go for a few months where I was teaching him how the programs worked. He gave me all the software and everything, and I told him how it worked, did a ton of research, and did a bunch of testing, research and development. And we got to a point where we're pretty good at it. Figured it out.
yeah,
He is like a mechanical technician, so he does everything mechanical, and I do everything like electrical and digital. So we
dope.
match up really well. And our other buddy, Anthony, he heard what we were doing, and he went and bought like the model up from the little one, which was like the Ender S4 Plus or Pro or something like that. It's a 300 by 300 millimeter, 300 millimeter tall, nice machine. Printed a bunch of stuff on that one, and then I got mine, which is a 500, 500, 500, which will print really huge stuff. Our first
Yes,
focus when we started playing with these was just part of our constitutional rights to own and manufacture our own guns in our own homes. So that's all we were trying to
yes,
do at first. And then it kind of turned into a bigger business where people were ordering masks from us all the time. Like we've done Scorpion, Sub Zero, Bane, Darth Vader. We've done all kinds of
hell yeah,
Mandalorian armor, like all kinds of stuff.
dude.
People just love this stuff. So we 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 entered it
Yeah,
with a different idea just for personal stuff, and then people started getting us to do things for them.
yeah, bro. I remember talking to you on the horn. I'm like, bro, Imperial Surplus has this Captain Rex helmet. It's 350, and you're just like, man, I get the materials are. I'm like, if you can undercut them, just even like $50. You're just like, man, I got you. And I'm just like,
Totally.
man. And
It's
I want a fucking Magneto helmet too, Aaron. I
dope.
want a Magneto one. I'm trying to cosplay that with my lady. She could pick whatever character she wants to be, but I want that fucking red maroon helmet that he has on
Dope.
X-Men First Class at the end of the movie. I'll get my little red jacket, my purple cape and shit. Like
Right?
he's my favorite character from that universe, man. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I like him the most. Like not just because he's a villain, but just the backstory and the depth and uh the way that he is down for his homies
Yeah.
because he knows everybody else is gonna hate on them for having talent and abilities. You know
hmm
what I mean? So
And
I dig that shit.
3D printing has kind of become like a flood of the market kind of thing lately. And there's a lot of
Yeah,
people out there that have a lot of these simple machines. And the bigger you get, the more complex you get. I would also recommend if anybody's thinking about getting one, be prepared to work with them. They're not just a set it and forget it kind of thing. You're gonna have to
yeah,
work with them a little bit and make them perfect. Like you have to have everything at perfect 90-degree angles and everything leveled out. And once you figure that out and how the machine works, your programs that you use on the computer have all the settings right there. So you can change how they work with this. You could have one file and set it 1,000 different ways. So once you figure that out, your prints come out really nice. And what we're doing right now is we got one running PLA, which is your basic plastic material. And we do a lot of
yeah.
like
Talk about that. Yeah. What kind of polymers? What different materials do you use? Yeah. Talk about that, please.
yeah, we're using like
PLA.
PLA plus on one machine, which is the middle.
What does that stand for? What does that stand for?
It,
PLA.
I forget what exactly it stands for, but it's a basic run of the mill plastic. It's really cheap for like 1 kilo. It's like $28, which is like
Damn.
2.2 pounds. So it's a large spool for very little money. And if you master it, you can make PLA print really well. It sands really nice. It paints really nice with acrylics and stuff like that, and you can't really tell that it's 3D printed once you finish it. Then we moved on to another substance, which was for our original cause, which we're running everything steel, and what's running through the machine is a nylon carbon fiber blend. So it's really abrasive. It melts at a super high temperature. It's a different monster of a machine. And then on the bigger machine, I'm converting it right now to actually print things like silicone and TPU, flexible materials. So I can start printing
Okay.
hoses and things like that.
And is there like a vinyl spool too?
Basically, your PLA is going to be similar to a vinyl, but it's going to be rigid.
Okay, so the last ones that you talked about, like the different okay, so I promised my band guys I was gonna ask this question when I had you on the show, but there's a certain style of guitar pick, right, that people are starting to print with. One of them has like kind of a hole in the middle, so it's like you're not gonna lose your grip. Some of them print, grooves on it for grip, but to me, that sounds like something fucking super tiny and cheap that
Easy.
I'm like, I can holler at my homie to make 100 of those, and because my band homies were completely like, man, they fucking sell this one pick for like $16, and it has the
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
hole in the middle, and they're yeah, and I'm just like, we can sell them for 5, I'm sure, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't. So that's why I was asking about materials because I think the
Our most
material that
expensive stuff is just the carbon fiber stuff, and that's about 50 to 60 bucks a roll for the same size. So you're
well,
talking a
well
big price increase for the hardcore materials, but you wouldn't want to use that on your guitars because it's
no,
abrasive.
no, well, that's what I'm saying is as soon as you said flexible materials, that's my cousin Tutlo. Shout out to Tutlo. Like he told me like he's got 20, 25 years experience playing guitar, and he would tell me like you want a little bit of flex, and you don't want some
Yeah,
shit that's gonna slip out of your hand, and you have to hold it and picky fish. Like the advice that I get from him is fucking next level kung fu shit, and I'm trying to apply that to stuff that I know about 3D printing too, and like, nah, cuz we could get 100 of those
yeah,
and probably get our band name printed on them too. You know what I
in
mean? So we
3D.
can, yeah,
Give it
and
stood
not
up
just
or
sell them,
inset,
but
whatever.
give them away at shows. Yeah, dude. So like the flexible materials, what are some of those, and how does that work out?
The TPUs and silicones. TPU, I don't know if you know what that is, but
It's
it's almost like a silicone. It's
I
slightly more
I
rigid.
think my phone case is made out of TPU. I
Yeah,
think.
that would be the kind of material you'd want to make like a guitar pick out of. You just make it a little bit thick, or you can get different grades of silicone that you can print through these hotheads that we converted to. Is it's like we have no longer stock machines; they run however we want them to now. We've
Yeah,
upgraded a ton of different stuff, so we're running materials that are not meant to be run through these machines. But you can get different grades of silicone. You can get it really floppy and soft for like heat and tubing and stuff like that, so you can actually clamp it onto something and use it. Or you can get a more rigid silicone, like almost like I don't know if you have a glass cover on your phone or what, but I have a silicone one on mine. It's pretty rigid. And it's like it leaves
yeah,
marks, but it self heals and stuff. It never cracks. But that's the
yeah.
same kind of thing.
I'm pretty sure that's what it said. TPU fucking phone case or something.
Yeah.
Spygen or some shit like that. Yeah. That's dope. These terms fucking ring a bell, bro. That's why I'm just like, man,
And
hell
you
yeah.
you can print those on your 3D printers, no problem. Easy.
Yeah, yeah. That's another thing. Yeah, bro. You get the STL file for that shit. And
Yeah, easy.
like,
You can make your own
yeah.
STL files. There's a ton of free software out there. I won't really mention it because I don't want to promote them too much, but you can find it all over online. There's just
Yeah.
tons of free 3D
Google
software.
yeah, Google that shit up, ladies and gents. Fuck, we're at an hour right now. Aaron Goin. I gotta ask you a couple of more questions before we wrap. Um, I gotta ask this every single guest I have on the show, bro. It's a two-sided question. The first side is the good side. What do you feel has been your best move on the path to where you're at right now?
Probably trying to work for myself finally and getting away from the man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but elaborate a little bit more, dude. I need a couple more sentences because
Not not being under the man's thumb, trying to make moves for myself and seeing where I can take myself rather than other people relying on me to make them the man.
No doubt. No doubt. Okay, so the other side of the question, what do you feel has been your biggest mistake on the path to where you're at right now, or your biggest fuck up?
Trusting too much with corporations.
Dope.
Definitely.
Elaborate, please, bro, because
Definitely.
I'm the same. I'm like, man, fuck those suits. They don't give a shit. I'm
They
getting
don't,
fired anyway. Yeah.
right? So basically, the facility I did work at when I had to leave wasn't because of any performance issues or anything like that. I was literally during the COVID thing. What happened was they dissolved my position. All it was some suited dick that was an investor for the company that worked for Apollo Financial that had never met me, had never been in the facility, and never really shook hands with anybody who was producing any of these things. And I was a number on paper and got released because of that. That to me is
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous when you are a key player in the design of a company and you're literally one of only 12 people still making money for the company when this happens.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'm sure too is he saw your name on the spreadsheet with a higher number than the other guys in the same section on the spreadsheet, and it's like, yo,
Yeah.
why is this guy worth that? And it's he's gonna see Aaron, you know what I mean? But
Yep.
it doesn't matter because you're onto your own thing. He's gonna see the results in the
Yeah.
next year and be like,
It don't matter.
fuck, that's why he was higher on fucking the spreadsheet than everybody else in the same section. You know what I mean?
Yep. For real.
Oh fuck, that's why. Yeah, so that's cool, man. I dig that attitude also, bro, because I just feel like too much importance and emphasis is placed on giving your 2 weeks, and you don't want to have a bad rep. It's like I would rather do more work. I don't give a shit who said anything about
Yeah.
me getting fired. Or it's like, nah, these guys are gonna tell you I showed up and fucking crushed because I was into the work, not just the fucking measly pay that they're giving me at the end of the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Showed initiative.
Um, yeah, dude, like it matters. You're either into it or you're not. And if you're not, fuck. And the guys that are never get rewarded either, Aaron, in corporate settings. That's why
Yep.
I always support all the homies who are trying to do their own shit because it's like, man, nah, I'm not gonna fire me. And when I'm doing good, I'm gonna give me a raise. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so what other kind of ideas or concepts would you like to promote for the future, Aaron Goin? Like, is there, you know what I mean? Like, besides entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur, like, what do you want to promote to the kids, man? Because
Just always
that's
stay
one
up.
thing that,
Stay up on your technology and things, man. It's like learn how the world moves faster. Is if you don't keep pace with that, it's gonna pass you up. You got to keep working for that. That's the only reason I got into like 3D printing and all this other stuff. Like, I mean, I started with a spray can. Look what I work with now. I work with some of the
yeah,
world's most complex machines.
yeah, man. Started with some fucking Krylon, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that's dope. Good advice for the kids, Aaron Goin. Um, Damn. Yeah, bro. I feel like that's a pretty good spot to wrap, dude. You know what I mean? Stay up on your technology.
Hell yeah.
Is there where can people get a hold of you online or follow you, man? Like, do you have an IG now since you don't work for that company? Like, what's up? How can
I
folks
did. I
get in?
do. I just started it and it has like no content yet.
Dope, man. Post that fucking goddamn the TDE damn red hooded sweatshirt, bro. Post a photo of
All
that.
right.
That'll
I'll throw
get
some
a
of the
hundred
garments
likes.
up there and some vehicle wraps and stuff and shoot you the tag.
Yeah, dude. Please do. So what's the IG tag? How can folks follow you?
I don't need. I gotta get on my phone and look, bro. I just made it a few days ago.
Okay,
Yep.
so Aaron Goin, AARONGOIN, ladies
Yep.
and gentlemen, search that. It'll probably pop up. And then what about on Facebook? Same thing.
Facebook, yeah, same thing. Just Aaron going.
And then what? And then what was the company the subs the umbrella for high end wraps?
Umbrella
Can you
screen
can you
printing.
say that? Umbrellascreenprinting.com.
Yeah. I don't know if
Okay,
he has a .com. I think he does, but he's on IG pretty heavy. I know
okay,
he relies on a lot of his business through IG actually because he gets a lot of promotion.
yeah, that's where it's at, bro. For weed or anything that looks cool, it's like
Yeah, I mean
post it
he's
up
got
on
all that
there.
too. It's like I mean He's got the dope ass prepackaged edibles and stuff like that. Is nice stuff, bro. Got some good
No
quality
doubt.
products coming out of there. I'm teaching him how to make it right. Have his
Yeah,
production facility working, getting better quality, having better people. It's
no
working out.
doubt.
We got stickers down there. We got embroidery. We do anything.
No doubt. Well, dude, I'm proud of you, Aaron Goin, and I appreciate you taking the time to come on our podcast and talk about your wins and your L's, man.
Yeah, no problem.
You know what I mean? It means a lot. You're a sharp dude and talented, man.
You too,
And
John.
and well, thanks, man. And anytime you want to come back on the show to talk about something new you got coming out, man, or even like if you secure some fucking wicked contract and want to promote it after you get the fucking check, like I don't care, bro. Like you got an open invitation always for Concerned Dads podcast to come on and talk your shit, man.
I think we should definitely do that when we advance to that next step in 3D printing and do live fucking video of it.
Yeah, yeah. When I get that fucking Rex helmet, bro, and it's painted, like definitely, I'll interview you with shit on for the fucking podcast. You
Hell
know?
yeah. Yeah, we're just trying to
Yeah,
rebuild our tables and shit right now to make everything like we're gonna rebuild it all perfect and have the printers separated from each other with boxes and everything. Now that we know how to print
dope.
really well, so we're just editing how we're doing stuff right now and rebuilding them. We'll be back up in the next couple weeks, we running that shit, and it'll be even better than it was before.
Fucking A, man. Fucking A. Can't wait to see the work, man. Can't wait to spend some dollars, man.
Hell yeah.
Um, but that concludes our episode and our interview with Aaron Goin. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do my outro dance. This was the 75th episode of Concerned Dabs podcast. I was your host, Katie M. Kane. My guest, Aaron Goin from High End Raps. Please look him up on IG or Facebook, AARON space GOIN. And also Umbrella, what was it?
Screen printing.
Umbrella Screen Printing on IG, man. Hit
Yep.
them up. That's the company that's they do stickers, everything, man. 3D printing, vehicle wraps, whatever the fuck you want, man. Holler at those guys. They got game and the shit looks dope. I also got to give a shout out to my guys in production, Mitchell Wilson and Jesse Curry. This has been a Main Node and Joseph Street Enterprise production.
Peace.
Yeah, dude. Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah,
Man,
no
for
problem.
real. Yeah, man. Man, dude, super dope interview, man. Nerdy too.